Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, I take the opportunity to speak on Appropriation Bill 2017 relating to supplementary estimates for the current financial year of 2016 and 17 and the budget estimate for the next financial year 2017 and 18, sir. Sir, before I go into the details of the Appropriation Bill 2017 and 18, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Chair, the government, for taking up all the demands and having a discussion also on all the demands. And I think it is a very big achievement for strengthening the democracy, where we have a healthy debate and discussion on all the demands, sir. So at the same time, I have been requesting from years together, right from Andhra Pradesh, then Andhra Pradesh and now Telangana, requesting that the CAG reports to be tabled at least a day before the appropriation bill. It would bring in a more healthy debate and a discussion on all the subjects and the findings of the CAG, sir. And I hope that the government would make a note of this, the Honorable Chair will also make a note of this, and see that at least for the next year, we have the CAG reports tabled 1 or 2 days before, so that all the members can go through and see what exactly has been happening in the state finances, sir. So the Honorable Finance Minister has come up with a supplementary estimate of 41,235 crores for the current financial year 2016 and 17, sir. So this is the highest ever for the supplementary estimate of our state. Even in undivided Andhra Pradesh, the government has not presented a supplementary estimate of such a huge amount, sir. So if we add the supplementary estimates to the financial year's budget estimate of rupees 1,30,416 crores, we get a figure of total projected expenditure of rupees 1,71,651 crores. However, while presenting the budget of 2017 and 18, the Finance Minister came up with a revised estimate of rupees 1,12,191 crores for the year 2016 and 17, sir. So if the supplementary estimate is added to the revised estimate, we get a figure of rupees 1,53,426 crores for the year 2016 and 17, sir. So when the Finance Minister Sahab has indicated a shortfall of rupees 18,225 crores in the revised estimate, the budget estimate for 2016 and 17, I wonder how he has come up with such a huge, massive outlay of supplementary estimates, sir. This is the question which needs to be answered, sir. So moreover, how is it that the next year's budget estimate has been pegged at rupees 1,49,646 crores? Sir, I know the government cannot spend beyond what is authorized by the legislature by way of appropriation bill. It is also not possible to go for reappropriation without the express approval of the legislature, sir. Sir, for this reason, for various heads of account where the government has to make additional allocation, the supplementary estimates are prepared even while there are shortfall in budgeted expenditure and some other heads of accounts. Normally, there is not much variation between budget estimates and revised estimates. The supplementary estimate represents a modest increase over the budget allocation. However, in the year 2016 and 17, the supplementary estimates of a massive of rupees 41,129 crores. The major allocation under the supplementary estimate include rupees 9,338 crore for energy, rupees 6,700 and for major and medium irrigation, rupees 4,080 crore for municipal administration, rupees 3,781 crore for Panchayat Raj, rupees 2,700 crores for rural development, sir. Similarly, supplementary estimates amount to rupees 1,000 crores to rupees 2,200 crores have been made for school education, medical and health, roads and building, social welfare, backward classes, welfare and housing, sir. Incidentally, for all these demands, the Finance Minister Sahab has reduced the allocation substantially in the revised estimate compared to the budget estimate of 2016 and 17. Sir, but there seems to be a pattern in budget presentation by Mr. Epula Rajendra Sahab, since 2014 and 15. So the budget estimate was rupees 1,638 crores and the supplementary estimate was rupees 5,355 crores in 2014 and 15. So the total estimate came to rupees 1,05,993 crores. Sir, as per the CAG account for 2014 and 15, the actual expenditure works out to be rupees 62,473 crores for the 10 months period covered by the budget that year. So the shortfall was as much as 43,520 crores at 41% of overall allocation budget plus supplementary estimates. So, Honorable Speaker, sir, in the financial year 2015 and 16, the budget estimate was rupees 1,15,689 crores. The Finance Minister Saab had presented supplementary estimate of rupees 22,740 crores in that year. The budget estimate and supplementary estimate added up to rupees 1,38,429 crores in 2015 and 16. The revised estimate placed the expenditure of rupees 1,062 crores. If we add up the supplementary estimates to revised estimate, we get a figure of rupees 1,22,802 crores for 2015 and 16. However, sir, the actual expenditure in 2015 and 16 was rupees 97,923 crores as per CAG accounts. Sir, the shortfall of rupees 40,506 crores or 29% of overall allocation, budget plus supplementary estimate. In the next few days, the Finance Minister Saab would have the provisional figures to know the extent of shortfall and revised supplementary estimate of financial year 2016 and 17. Prima facie, there is a huge shortfall in state-owned taxes revenue as the actual receipts of the four major revenue earning department, namely commercial taxes, state excise, stamp registration, transport department, could not reach the high targets in each of these three financial years right from 2014 and 15 to 2016 and 17. For instance, the current year 2016 and 17 revenue target of rupees 43,115 crores was set for the commercial tax department. The actual collections were only 31,322 crores till the end of February 2017. So revenue under state excise law were rupees 3,271 crore till the end of January 2017 as against the annual target of 4,543 crores. So the revenue receipts and stamp registration department of 2,936 crores till the end of January 2017 as against the year's target of 4,292 crores. So the revenue receipts of transport department were rupees 2,445 crores till the end of February 2017 as against the year's target of rupees 3,000 crores. Similarly, the actual non-tax revenues are also far below the targets projected in the budget estimates for successive years of including 2016 and 17. Adding to the state resources constrained the huge shortfall in projected share of central taxes and central grants in aid to the state in the successive state budgets. Sir, in short, we have been getting far less than what we projected towards central transfer to the state since 2014 and 15. Sir, as against the projected central transfer, rupees 31,470 crores, the actual receipt worked out to only rupees 15,306 crores in 2014 and 15. Similarly, as against the budget central transfer of rupees 25,223 crores, the actual receipt amount to rupees 21,745 crores in 2015 and 16. In the financial year 2016 and 17, so the revised estimate of rupees 28,231 crores as against the budget estimate of rupees 28,512 crores. We may miss the revised figures as well since the central government is yet to release the fund for various central schemes of state, including the rupees 3,100 crores for grant anticipated towards special package and additional central assistance. There are numerous causes for the shortfall in revenue, both tax and non-tax and revenues and capital expenditure last three budgets. The tax revenues are not growing at the anticipated rate because the targets are very ambitious and beyond the reach of departments concerned. The non-tax revenue will also witness huge shortfall because mining and other sectors are not yielding the anticipated collections. Moreover, the major shortfall under non-tax revenue is due to non-realization of huge targets for revenue for sale or auction of land. So the government has set a target of 6,500 crores in 2014 and 15 and rupees 13,500 crores in 2015 and 16 for the regularization and sale of government lands. The target of 2016-17 was fixed as 10,900 crores from the sale of government land. The total projected revenue from this source comes to rupees 30,900 crores in the 3 financial year, but the actuals receipts have been only a fraction of this figure, sir. Sir, as against the projected figures, the actual realization of sale of land was only rupees 9 crores, sir. Sorry, sir, it was only 9 crores in 2014 and 15 and rupees 583 crores in 15 and 16 as per CAG accounts. So what is the target and what are we achieving? The revised estimate of 2016 and 17 is rupees 2,000 crores for the sale of government lands. The actual receipts may be far less in 2016 and 17 too, sir. Sir, curiously, in the next year's budget, the Finance Minister Saab seems to have given up the hope of sale of land, and he has not budgeted for a single rupee from this source. Not a single rupee, sir. However, Rajendra Saab has displayed his optimism by projecting revenue of 11,800 crores from central grants under special package and additional central assistance. This is apparently to compensate for the shortfall in revenue from the sale of land, sir. Sir, Honorable Speaker, sir, I have been drawing attention of Honorable Chief Minister Saab to the need of revival of district development and review committee, sir. In the erstwhile undivided Andhra Pradesh, they had district development and review committee in 10 districts of Telangana, including Hyderabad, sir. This provided a forum to elected representative MPs and legislators to review the development activities and seek redressal of grievance of their constituents. So the DDRC function under Revenue Department. After the formation of Telangana state, the DDRCs have become defunct. The Chief Minister has promised that district planning committees will be formed with elected representatives and officials, but this assurance has not been fulfilled so far, sir. So one reason cited for the delay in constitution of district planning committee was the exercise of reorganization of district in the Telangana state. अब जबकि नए डिस्ट्रिक्ट बन चुके हैं, तो मैं हुकूमत से मुतालबा करूंगा कि ये DDRCs जो डिफंक्ट हो गए हैं, उनको जिंदा करिएगा, ताकि हम सारे अराकीन बैठकर अवामी मसाइल को पेश कर सकते हैं. और फिर सर, अब आप जैसा जानते हैं कि वक्त से पहले गर्मी का मौसम आ चुका है और काफी गर्मियां हो रही है, और द स्टेट इज ऑलरेडी witnessing severe summer conditions even before peak summer months of April and May. So the temperature has already touched 40 degrees in Hyderabad and even higher in other parts of the state, sir. Sir, April and May are likely to be much harsher with temperature in different parts of state crossing 45 degrees Celsius. I may recall that Hyderabad, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, I may recall that the Hyderabad High Court on March 29th last year had asked the government of Telangana and Residual AP to take immediate step to implement the action plan prepared to prevent the deaths due to heat wave conditions in summer, sir. Sir, the Telangana government had informed the High Court that it has taken steps to provide shelter, drinking water, ORS sackets in public places, and also free emergency health services for people affected due to any heat wave. The state had formed 3 committees with principal secretaries and various departments to take steps during pre-summer, summer and post-summer to protect the people from the impact of any heat wave during 3 phases, sir. Sir, I request the government to constitute these committees with principal secretaries and take up all steps to mitigate the impact of scorching summer and to prevent the deaths due to heat wave conditions, sir. Sir, in case of any death, I request the government to pay ex gratia to the victims under Apaat Bandhu scheme, sir. Sir, it is also observed that during the summer months, the sale of Indian liquor shoots up in state, and this brings a lot of revenue to the government coffers, sir. It is ironical that Excise Department generates second largest tax revenue in the state exchequer after commercial taxes, sir. Sir, मैं आपके जरिए हुकूमत से मुतालबा करूंगा कि ये शराब पर पाबंदी आयद की जाए
اور آج ریاست تلنگانہ اور آندھرا پردیش سب سے آگے ہو چکے ہیں شراب کے سیل میں اور شراب کی وجہ سے جو پیسے ملتے ہیں. Sir, the turnover of Telangana State Breweries Corporation touched rupees 10,884 crores in 2014 and 15 to rupees 12,705 crores in 2015 and 16. The figure has risen to rupees 11,735 crores in current year up to end of January 2017. Sir, میں آپ کے ذریعے کہوں گا کہ this is causing nuisance on the road lanes and by lanes located adjacent to the liquor shops in Hyderabad, sir. Sir, ہم بار بار ریکویسٹ کرتے گئے کہ عبادت گھروں کے قریب, مساجد کے قریب, منادر کے قریب, گرجا گھروں کے قریب یا سکولز کے قریب شراب خانوں کی اجازت نہیں دینی چاہیے. لیکن آج ہم دیکھتے ہیں کہ شہر حیدرآباد میں چاروں طرف شراب کی دکانیں کھل رہی ہیں اور بڑی بڑی عالی شان شراب کی دکانیں کھل رہی ہیں. بنجارہ ہلز, جوبلی ہلز میں تو ہم دیکھتے ہیں کہ بڑے بڑے شراب خانے کھل رہے ہیں, پبس کھل رہے ہیں, شراب بیچنے کی دکانیں کھل رہی ہیں. تو اس پر حکومت کو چاہیے کہ I request the government to take up some effective campaign to wean away the people from consumption of liquor, sir. Sir, coming to commercial taxes, sir, the commercial taxes department has yield the bulk of state government revenues. Commercial taxes contribute over 2/3 of the total tax revenue in Telangana, sir. So the taxes collected under 8 separate heads include VAT, central excise, sale tax, entertainment tax, professional betting tax, luxury tax, entry tax and rural assist. Every year the government is raising the target to commercial taxes department to rupees 10,000 crores, sir. I would like the finance minister Saab to assure the house that there will not be any post-budget hike in these taxes, sir. This is very important, sir. Sir, already the VAT on petrol and diesel in Telangana is one of the highest among the state in the country. I would suggest that instead of raising the tax rates, the government should focus on checking evasion of tax and under assessment by the dealers and broad basing the tax net by bringing into the system those traders who have not registered with the commercial tax department, sir. Sir, all the states in the country are going to have GST from 1st of July this year. The finance minister Saab has indicated in the budget speech of 2017-18 that there are some uncertainties with regard to revenue implications of the proposed introduction of goods and service tax from July 2017. We are told the government has assured to compensate the states for the losses that they are likely to incur on account of the implementation of GST. I request Rajendra Saab to tell us the preparedness for the state for switching over to the GST regime from 1st of July and steps taken to sensitive all the stakeholders on the GST regime, sir. Sir, urban local bodies have repeatedly been raising issue of the state government reluctance to give their share to the local body in the state taxes, as the states are providing higher share of central taxes on the recommendation of the successive finance commission, sir. Sir, میں نے بہت سی مثالیں دی تھی اپنے بجٹ کے سپیچ میں بھی کہ کس طریقے سے GHMC کو ان کا شیئر نہیں دیا جا رہا ہے, کمرشل ٹیکسز ڈپارٹمنٹ پروفیشنل ٹیکس کا حصہ نہیں دیا جا رہا ہے, روڈ ٹیکس کا جو RTA کار رجسٹریشن کے بعد روڈ ٹیکس کلیکٹ کرتی ہے, اس روڈ ٹیکس میں سے کچھ شیئر GHMC کو دینا چاہیے. روڈ مینٹیننس is with the GHMC, but the road tax have been collected by the RTA department, sir. تو میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ this is totally unfair and GHMC should be given its due share of professional taxes collection and also the other taxes, sir. Sir, یہ 2 بیڈروم کے فلیٹس کے بارے میں بار بار مطالبہ ہوتا رہا اور ہم مطالبہ کرتے رہے کہ 2 بیڈروم کے فلیٹس کے لیے کچھ جلدی اقدامات کریں. بلدی الیکشن ہو کر 1 سال کا عرصہ گزر چکا, عوام امید اور توقع وابستہ کری ہوئی ہے کہ 2 بیڈروم کے گھر ملیں گے ان کو جن کے پاس چھت نہیں ہے. لیکن میں اسپیکر صاحب آپ کے ذریعے کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ شہر حیدرآباد میں چندرائن گٹا کانسٹیٹنسی میری کانسٹیٹنسی واحد کانسٹیٹنسی تھی جہاں پر ہم نے قریب 7,000 گھر بنائے تھے. آج سے 5 برس پہلے گھر بن چکے ہیں, لیکن گھر بننے کے بعد آج تک بھی گھر خالی ہے, ان کو الاٹ نہیں کیا جا رہا ہے. شہر حیدرآباد کے جتنے بھی فقیر ہیں یا جتنے بھی نالے وائڈننگ ہوتے ہیں ان سب کو لا کر وہاں پہ ڈالا جا رہا ہے. ہم نے ان زمینات کی حفاظت کی, منظور کروایا, گھر بنایا, لیکن وہاں کے پرانے شہر اور میرے کانسٹیٹنسی کے لوگوں کو گھر نہیں دیے جاتے ہیں. سر, میں امید کرتا ہوں اور یہ ضرور کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ GHMC has a 22.87 lakh people living in 1,472 notified slums according to 2011 census, sir. out of the 20 lakh household GHMC area, there are 5 lakh household living in slum areas, sir. गरीबी बहुत है और उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि उनको कुछ घर मिलेगा। खुली कुतुब शाह अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी के बारे में मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि खुली कुतुब शाह अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी बनाई गई थी पुराने शहर की तरक्की के लिए, लेकिन खुली कुतुब शाह अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी को कुछ पैसा नहीं दिया गया है, कोई तरक्याती काम नहीं हो रहे हैं। बार बार मुतालबा करते रहे हैं कि खुली कुतुब शाह अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी को मरने से बचाइए और उसको कुछ फंड दीजिए। मैं अभी भी कहूंगा, मुतालबा करूंगा आपसे कि कम से कम एक 20 करोड़ रुपया खुली कुतुब शाह को दीजिए ताकि कुछ काम कराए जा सके। जरूरी है वहां पर काम कराना, क्योंकि आज पुराना शहर बहुत ही पसमानदा हो चुका है। बार बार हम कहते रहे, मोहतरमा पैनल स्पीकर मोहतरमा साहिबा, हम बार बार मुतालबा करते रहे हैं और ये बोलते रहे कि पुराना शहर में चार मीनार पेरिस्टलाइजेशन प्रोजेक्ट को लाया जाए, लेकिन आज तक भी चार मीनार पेरिस्टलाइजेशन प्रोजेक्ट पर कुछ नहीं हुआ। खुली कुतुब शाह टूम्स है, वहां पे आगा खान फाउंडेशन काम कर रही है, टूम्स को खूबसूरत कर रही है और टूम्स से किले गोलकुंडा को जाने के लिए रास्ता है। 120 प्रॉपर्टीज है और वो 120 प्रॉपर्टीज को आप एक्वायर करिए, उन लोगों को दूसरी जगह पे मुतबादिल मुकाम पर उनको घर दीजिए और रास्ता बनाइए टूम से खुली कुतुब शाह के टूम से लेकर गोलकुंडा फोर्ट पे जाने के लिए। और फिर चार मीनार के पास मैडम मूसी के अतराफ हाई कोर्ट की खूबसूरत बिल्डिंग है, सिटी कॉलेज की बिल्डिंग है, उस्मानिया हॉस्पिटल है, चार मीनार है, चौमेला पैलेस है, लाल बाजार है, पत्थरगट्टी है, चौक है। अगर हम इसको डेवलप करेंगे तो टूरिज्म आएगा। मैडम पैनल स्पीकर मैडम, आई वुड लाइक टू ब्रिंग टू योर काइंड नोटिस एंड ऑल्सो थ्रू यू टू द गवर्नमेंट कि सिर्फ संडे के दिन, हॉलीडेज के दिन एक दिन 25 to 30,000 पीपल कम टू सी विजिट चार मीनार। अगर एक आदमी 100 रुपये भी खर्चेगा तो आप बताइए कितना रेवेन्यू आएगा। टूरिज्म आज एक रेवेन्यू जनरेटिंग डिपार्टमेंट है, हम पैसा बना सकते हैं उससे। अगर आज हम ये एरियाज को डेवलप करेंगे। ओल्ड सिटी में चार मीनार बनाने से पहले चार मीनार का एक मॉडल बनाया गया था मैडम, विच इज कॉल्ड एज काला चार मीनार, विच इज देयर एट संतोष नगर। स्मॉल एक मॉडल है उसका, आज वो खराब हो रहा है, उसको प्रिजर्व करना चाहिए। पाएगा टूम्स है मैडम, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, उसको प्रिजर्व करना चाहिए। ओल्ड सिटी को एक टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन का हब बना सकते हैं। सालारजंग म्यूजियम इज नोन ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड फॉर इट्स कलेक्शन, आज उसको करना चाहिए। चार मीनार पेरिस्टलाइजेशन के लिए बार बार हम मुतालबा करते रहे हैं, लेकिन नहीं हुआ। क्लॉक टावर है मैडम चौक के पास, इतनी खूबसूरत है, एक एंटीक मार्केट, बुक मार्केट और क्लॉक टावर को इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हम बार बार बोलने के बाद उस पर भी कोई तवज्जो नहीं दी गई है। मैं उम्मीद करूंगा कि हुकूमत इस ताल्लुक से जरूर गौर करेगी और गौर करने के बाद इन मसाइल पर जरूर तवज्जो देगी। और मैं ये भी जरूर कहूंगा कि आज अक़लियतों के पसमानदगी पर हुकूमत ने संजीदगी के साथ काफी ऐलानात किए, काफी वादे किए। उम्मीद करता हूं कि वो ऐलानात जरूर हकीकत में तब्दील होंगे और मुसलमानों की पसमानदगी दूर होगी। पुराने शहर में आज सबसे बड़ा मसला अगर कुछ है तो सर आज लाइट का है। चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने हमारे मुतालिबा पर इस ऐवान में तयक़ुन दिया और कहा कि पुराने शहर में लाइट बंद नहीं होगी। मैडम पैनल स्पीकर, yesterday for 3 hours in my constituency there was no power. Day before yesterday also Old City, several parts of Old City were under dark madam, वहां पे लाइट नहीं थी। एग्जामिनेशंस का टाइम है, हाफिज बाबा नगर एरिया में बंद था लाइट 3-3 घंटे। रियासत नगर, रजा नगर, ईदी बाजार, ये एरिया पूरा बंद था। बहादुरपुर में बंद था। शहर में कई घंटों तक लाइट बंद रहती है। तयक़ुन दिए जाते हैं, वादे किए जाते हैं कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में ऐसा करेंगे, अनइंटरप्टेड देंगे। हम बार बार मुतालबा करते रहे ट्रांसफार्मर्स को एनहांस करिए, लेकिन नहीं हो रहा है। हम बार बार मुतालबा करें थर्ड वायर दीजिए, नहीं हुआ। हम बार बार मुतालबा करें घरों के ऊपर से हाई टेंशन वायर जा रहा है, इसको निकालिए, आज तक ये नहीं हुआ। सब स्टेशन के लिए मुतालबा कर रहे हैं, नहीं हुआ। पुराना शहर पसमानदा है। एंड ऑनरेबल मैडम पैनल स्पीकर, बिफोर आई फॉरगेट, there is a very important issue which needs to be taken care by the government, and that issue is about the drug menace which is spreading in Hyderabad, and youth are getting addicted to drugs. Capsules are being sold, drugs are being sold, brown sugar is being sold, and electronic cigarettes madam, they put some solution in that, an electronic cigarette they spoke. In that solution which is given for electronic, in that they are giving drugs and making the youth addicted to that. It is very important issue. आज लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का मसला बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन ड्रग्स की लानत से नौजवान बच्चों को हमको बचाना होगा। ये बहुत खतरनाक मामला है जो शहर में हमारी आने वाली नस्ल को तबाह बर्बाद कर रहा है। पूरे पब्स में, पूरे क्लब्स में, पूरे पार्टीज में जॉइंट्स दिए जाते हैं, ड्रग्स दिए जाते हैं, कैप्सूल दिए जा रहे हैं, नशा कर रहे हैं लोग, और एक बहुत बड़ा एक रैकेट है जो हमारे आने वाली नस्ल को तबाह कर रहा है। मैं उम्मीद करूंगा कि हुकूमत इस ताल्लुक से गौर करेगी और इस पर कार्रवाई करेगी। And another issue on which I would like the finance minister Saab to clarify is the condition being imposed by the central government on the power distribution companies to revise the power tariff every 3 months. Every 3 months. Today an article had come out in Deccan Chronicle also. I want the Honorable Minister Saab to give a reply on this. The bailout package of DISCOM formulated by central government under Ujjwal DISCOM Assurance Yojana reportedly stipulates that the debt-ridden power DISCOM should go in for quarterly revision of power tariffs to reduce the high cost of power purchased by them. I compliment the Chief Minister Saab for assuring the people that there will not be a power tariff hike in new financial year 2017-18, and that the state government has told the Telangana State Electricity Commission that there is no need to tariff revision. I am concluding, sir. Just last paragraph, sir. Sir, under the the observations of CAG, sir, बहुत कम वक्त मिला, वक्त तो नहीं मिला सर। मैं फिर से आपसे दरखास्त करूंगा कि 2 दिन पहले छोटे से कुछ पॉइंट्स आए हैं सर। Several observations have been made in CAG reports tabled in the legislature today, sir. The CAG observed that actual expenditure of Telangana government for the financial year 2015-16 amounted to rupees 1,39,360 crores, and this represented a shortfall of rupees 35,262 crores or 25% of the estimate, sir. Certain grants such as roads, building, back to class, minor irrigation, energy, tourism, arts and culture, social welfare showed shortfall in spending. I must compliment the government for not restoring the ways and means of advance of the Reserve Bank of India by way of special drawing facility and overdraft to tide over a temporary shortfall in the cash balance. The Telangana government has availed special drawing facility only for 4 days and the amount rupees 112 crores. I also compliment Telangana government for observation of the CAG that the state fiscal deficit GSDP is 3.23% for 2015 and 16, which is within the ceiling fixed based on recommendation of 14 Finance Commission, sir. Sir, the CAG also observed the entire borrowing of rupees 17,835 crores in a year was utilized to meet capital expenditure. Decided amount of rupees 1,438 crores for revenue received was spent on capital expenditure, making the total expenditure add up to rupees 18,823 crores. However, the revenue surplus of the state government for 2015 and 16 at rupees 238 crores was insufficient to meet the public debt discharge rupees 2,733 crores during the year, and this was met from internal debt and loan from the central government. There was revenue surplus of 238 crores and the fiscal deficit rupees 18,856 crores. The fiscal deficit constituted 20% of total expenditure. Sir, I sincerely hope that the state finance position will improve substantially in the next financial year and the revenue surplus would be much higher, sir. I once again, before concluding, would just like to say that when we see the CAG report, the health sector is suffering. The education sector is also suffering. कितने vacancies से बारे में है और फिर कितनी चीजें हैं. In the next speech, I would bring this. And also, sir, about the state, both AP and Telangana employees bifurcation is still pending, sir. In the last 2.5 years, several employees of Telangana are working on Andhra Pradesh. All some employees have to revert it from AP to brought to Telangana. ये एक जमाने से सर ये मसला पेंडिंग है. मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि कब आखिर ये मसला हल होगा. हमारे लोग वहां पर हैं, उनके लोग यहां पर हैं. यहां के लोगों को भी तकलीफ, वहां के लोगों को भी तकलीफ है. बहुत मुसीबत है. उम्मीद करता हूं कि हुकूमत इस ताल्लुक से जरूर गौर करेगी और गर्मी का मौसम है, हमको आज गर्मी से बचाने के लिए जो इकदामात करने हैं वो भी करने चाहिए। मैं ये कहूंगा कि शहर में आज पानी का बहुत बड़ा मसला है, समर कंटिजेंसी प्लान होता था, वो प्लान को इंप्लीमेंट करिए शहर में और दूसरी रियासत में। जो भी मैंने मसाइल उठाए हैं, उम्मीद करता हूं कि हुकूमत की जानिब से इस पर गौर करेंगे और पेंशन भी जो एलिजिबल लोगों को देना है आसरा के बारे में, मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि कोई मैकेनिज्म लाएंगे ताकि फ्रेश एप्लीकेशंस को भी लेंगे। और मैं कंक्लूड करते हुए ऑनरेबल स्पीकर साहब आपसे ये कहूंगा कि अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल को हमारी पार्टी की जानिब से हम तायीद करते हैं हुकूमत की, और उम्मीद करते हैं कि सारे मसाइल को हल करते हुए इस तेलंगाना रियासत को खुशहाल रियासत बनाएंगे और बंगारू तेलंगाना बनाने में हमारा जो भी ताउन है हम हुकूमत को देंगे। हम एक हेल्दी अपोजिशन की तरह काम करेंगे। हम जरूर हुकूमत के साथ उनके अलाई पार्टनर्स हैं, लेकिन हुकूमत के गलत कामों पर भी हम बराबर हुकूमत को रोकेंगे और कोशिश करेंगे कि अच्छे काम हो, और उम्मीद करेंगे कि 12% तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात मुसलमानों को जल्द अज जल्द दिए जाएंगे। SC STs को भी जो तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात का वादा किया गया है वो भी पूरा किया जाएगा। BCs जो छूट गए हैं उनको भी तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात देंगे, और BC का जो रिजर्वेशन का अब जो तनासुब परसेंटेज है उसको भी बढ़ाएंगे। उम्मीद करते हैं कि हर किसी को मौका मिलेगा, हर किसी की जिंदगी में खुशहाली आएगी। शुक्रिया स्पीकर साहब।